Hills of southern Michigan are drenched in sunlight. Perfect weather for 150,000 race fans who have gathered here at Michigan Speedway for the Pepsi 400 NASCAR Winston Cup race. Points leader Dale Jarrett hopes to repeat his performance of 2 months ago and his performance in 1991. Back on the outside. It's going to be a photo finish. They touch coming down through the tri-oval at the line. Who wins it? I believe
that magical moment 8 years ago here at Michigan signified the start of Dale Jarrett's successful Winston Cup career and the beginning of a dream that he too, like his famous father, would one day be known as NASCAR's Winston Cup champion. Early on, his quest for the Cup would prove to be far from easy. It would take time, teamwork, talent, and total commitment to turn heads and laps faster than the competition. Finally, this year, the wins and almost weekly shower of points have him poised to capture the Cup. Ironically today, the Jarrett juggernaut can roll one step closer to fulfilling that dream, right here where it all began just 8 years ago. Since that day in August of 1991, Dale Jarrett has added 2 more Michigan wins to his resume, including a dominating performance here 2 months ago in which he led 150 of 200 circuits and lapped all but 4 other cars in the field. Today he returns to Michigan armed with the same car that crushed him in June and blitzed them at the Brickyard 400 2 weeks ago. With a comfortable 300-point lead and just 13 races remaining, he doesn't really need to win if he can just do what he did at Watkins Glen. Stay clean, out of trouble, and log a top 5 finish. It'll probably be his championship to lose. However, one miscue or mechanical failure could suddenly stir a feeding frenzy among those who remain in the title chase.
Racing is often a puzzling portrait of heroic faces and hectic races winding up in noble places. The seamless circle of practice, performance, and pursuit has 4-time Michigan winner Mark Martin second in points. Bobby Labonte has 2 wins at this track, but inconsistency makes you wonder what's ahead. Brilliant success or bitter struggle. Jeff Burton has 4 straight top 10 finishes at Michigan, but needs another win to recharge his batteries. Jeff Gordon has more wins than anyone. That's nothing new. But has he lost his grip on the sport's top prize, and is Dale Jarrett ready to tighten his grasp on the trophy? Gordon won last week, leaving fans wondering, can Wonder Boy close the gap in a single bound? Well, there are no tall buildings to leap, but there are some mountains to move. For example, the question now, who's the biggest threat to Jarrett's big lead? Well, Martin, Labonte, and Burton are the closest contenders, but they've never been to the mountaintop. Jeff Gordon has. The reigning king of the hill is 482 behind, but has a lot of ground ahead. If you think that sounds like hype, take a look at history. Gordon won last week, won here last year, won 5 of the last 11 races in 1998, and finished second in 4 others. Points should be a postscript to racing, not the purpose. The reason to race is to win. That's exactly what these guys must do to have any chance at catching the one car that has been faster than a speeding bullet.
While those guys are busy chasing Dale Jarrett in the points championship battle, Ward Burton hopes that everybody chases him today. He won the pole position on Friday afternoon by shattering the 2-month-old track qualifying record by almost 2 miles an hour. He was second fastest in happy hour, but crew chief Tommy Baldwin decided to make a change to the car this morning. All he'll say is they made some changes to the front geometry. The new tires being used today have caused the cars to be very loose. Baldwin thinks the changes that they have made will make the car more comfortable to drive, allowing Ward to pull away from the field. And we'll see in a few moments if that change worked as we're ready to get this race underway.
The district manager from Meyer, Bob Bly. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Races to go in the 1999 NASCAR Winston Cup season. Dale Jarrett lengthening his lead over Mark Martin by 300 now as a result of last weekend at Watkins Glen. The only change in the top 5, Jeff Gordon moved to the 5th position, and Tony Stewart dropped down to 6th. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Jenkins along with Jarrett, and happy to have BP back with us in the booth. We've been coming here to Michigan for many, many years. Have seen some great races. But, Ned, there's something different about today's race that we've never seen before.
Well, certainly different from when they were here in June. The drivers were complaining about the cars being tight in June. And as a result, Goodyear has made a new tire. They've restructured the tire, put some more stagger in it, which gives it a loose condition going into the corners here, Benny. And loose conditions going into those corners 200 miles an hour, that's not too good.
That's not too good, and no one really has a handle on exactly what's going to happen. You know, we'll probably see the same guys up front that we usually see, but just maybe, somebody that's never won a Winston Cup race before will be able to make that perfect combination day and get out there and win his first race, because right now it's really a toss-up as to who has the right combination.
Well, the 43 cars and drivers are fired to life as we get set for 200 laps of racing here. The tires may have caused many of the cars to be loose, but they have also made them very fast. In fact, 10 drivers broke the previous track record, led, of course, by Ward Burton. ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, and the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, NASCAR, invite you to sit back and enjoy the afternoon as we have live coverage of the Pepsi 400 from Michigan Speedway near Brooklyn. It's a beautiful day, and the crowd is ready. We're ready. In just a moment, come back with us for the starting lineup and the green flag. ESPN's live coverage of the Pepsi 400 from Michigan Speedway is being brought to you by Pepsi, the choice of Michigan Speedway. By Team Monte Carlo, the cars more champions trust. And by EverStart Battery, all the cold breaking power your truck, car, boat, or mower will ever need. Available at Walmart. And there's the overhead shot of the cars as they proceed through turn number 4 on the first of a couple of warm-up laps. We're on a 2-mile oval. The front stretch 3,600 feet, the back stretch 2,242, and the banking in the corners is at 18 degrees, while on the front stretch, the tri-oval part of the racetrack, it's 12 degrees, and the back stretch is nearly flat. All right, let's check the starting lineup now for today's Pepsi 400 from the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Ward Burton has his first pole of 1999, and Mike Skinner has his best start here at Michigan. Dale Jarrett won this race in June. Jeffrey Bodine won in 1994. Jeremy Mayfield had a 7th place last year. Ricky Rudd is in his 46th straight Michigan event. Mark Martin has 4 wins at this facility. John Andretti, the top 10 in the last 2 Michigan races. Jeff Gordon, only 1 Michigan win, but 10 top 5s in 13 races, and Rusty Wallace will start in the 10th position. Back in row number 6, it's Ted Musgrave and Steve Hart, career best 6th finish in June here at this facility. Hud Strickland starts in the 13th position, a good qualifying run for him, and then Mr. Michigan, Bill Elliott, who has 7 wins at this racetrack, more than any other active driver.
Back in row 9 this afternoon, Dick Trickle and Chad Little. Trickle's substituting for Ernie Irvin, involved in the crash on Friday. See Dale Earnhardt Jr. in row 9. There, row 10, Bobby Labonte and Michael Waltrip. And as we look at the rest of the starting lineup, we couldn't have asked for better weather here today. The clouds are beginning to build up just a little bit, but there is no threat of rain. It's a relatively cool upper 70s, high expected in the low 80s later this afternoon. And back here are some of these guys, Ned, that may not have found the speed in qualifying, but had good happy hours and maybe threats during the race.
Yeah, there were a number of cars that started back towards the back that were good in happy hour. And just like Benny talked about, somebody get the right setup, and they can come to the front. They can pass a lot of race cars. This track is wide, so they can pass. Tony Stewart was one of those that really looked to be dialed in during the happy hour.
Check those. Terry Labonte, Kyle Petty, Johnny Benson, all these guys had to take provisionals, as we talked about, just not able to find that right combination. And Ned, you're right. The best part about this racetrack is it is so wide.
Darrell Waltrip, Brett Bowden, Darrell Stannard, and Tom Hubert missed the field and were not able to qualify for it. Darrell Waltrip, of course, will not have another provisional until we get to Darlington. Now let's check the onboard cameras that will complement our coverage.
Here's our Exide Matters onboard camera with Jeff Burton starting back in the 26th position. This is Kenny Wallace, the State Fair Corn Dogs onboard camera. He starts in 23rd. Bobby Labonte has our Circuit City onboard camera. He starts in 19th this afternoon. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will be right along with them from the 17th position in the Budweiser onboard camera. Bill Elliott has the McDonald's drive-through camera. He'll be starting in 14th. And Rusty Wallace, some Miller Lite Ford, starts 10th this afternoon here at Michigan Speedway. Mark Martin, everyone says this is the guy to look for. The Valvoline Ford starts 7th.